Reporting for reality jury duty are these heavyweight reality TV legends. My fave Bachelorette, Becky, who ain't taking shit from nobody.
I'm not buying what you're saying. I just think it's time for you to leave. Blech.
If you're a South Aussie, you definitely know Cosi. His reality TV credits include the Aussie version of The Biggest Loser, and nowadays, Adelaide, you can hear him on breakfast radio. Amber Petty, the celeb survivor and a former on-air companion to Cosi, she's now an author, and her latest release is This Is Not a Love Song. Amity Dry, her reality TV credits include being the winner of the Block All-Stars and an absolute singing sensation.
I don't wanna look all frozen in time, like the women on Real Housewives.
Reporting for reality
Reality
jury duty.
Jury duty.
Oh, that was terrible, wasn't it?
Before my jury start making waves of decisions on this week's cases, I need to know that they have the skill set to make rash judgments of people and navigate their way to the truth. Why not test them by making them judge each other? Guys, we have a few cases that I'm going to present. I need you to decide whether they are factual or not.
Okay.
First one is Amity. Through the exposure of her talents on the block and then winning, Amity gained household name status and was offered a record contract. She released the album The Lighthouse and was slated to accompany fellow reality TV songstresses, the band Bardot, as their support act on a national tour, until Bardot decided to split. And Amity had no promotional tour and an album that missed charting in the top 40. Fact or fiction? What do you think?
Fiction. Whoops.
Amber?
Now, I think it's fact because it rings, the story rings a bell. And I happened to work for Warner Music when Bardot was created, like Pop Stars was the TV show, and then we launched Bardot. So I was sort of privy to a few of those things. It does vaguely ring a bell, so I'm going to say that I think it might be fact.
Yeah, I'm going to lock in fact, thanks, Eddie. And mainly I know it's a fact because I was actually in Bardot and I was with them when they split up.
All right, well, Amity, is it fact
Yes,
or fiction?
that would be fiction.
Ah!
Woo!
Yeah.
Was there no music career at any point, Amity?
Yeah, all that part was real. I had a
So you
10
weren't on the
album.
block.
Yeah, that was the fake bit, cause no, I was not on their tour, and I did have a top 10 album. So luckily, them breaking up did not affect my career.
They had actually split before Amity went on the block, and your album,
The Lighthouse, that was correct.
reached number 8 on the ARIA charts, and your single, Start of Something New, also charted incredibly well.
That's true.
She was a chart-topping songstress.
I went and did my second album independently, and I took it to all the record companies, and they all said, this is a really great album, this is a really great song. I'm not going to play it because there's not any scandal. Like, you're not on reality TV now. We think it's great, but, you know, that's how the music biz works.
Next up, Amber and Cosi. Being 2/3 of the highest rating morning radio program at the time, Amber often found herself between a certain underlying rivalry between her two male co-hosts, Cosi and Rabbit. Whilst pranks and gotcha calls are native to morning radio, this radio exercise was rather unique as the rivalry led to a bet on which male was more virile. In order to discover this, both Cosi and Rabbit had to go to the sperm donation bank to make a deposit for the count. But to make sure that they weren't cheating and didn't come out with a higher number of little men than they should have, Amber had to attend along with the boys and make sure that each of them jacked off into a little cup without cheating. Fact or fiction?
Oh, I reckon fact.
Ooh.
I think that's sick stuff that radio hosts do. So I reckon fact. Why not?
But I really want this to be fact, and I agree with Rebecca. Radio promos to a lot of weird, sick stuff, but I also know Cosi's wife, and I'm not sure if she would have been okay with Amber being there as that was happening. So I'm going to say fiction.
I don't know, Amber, Cosi, was Amber on watchdog duties while you had to deposit your mates off?
Yeah, so that's true. That's exactly what happened. Yeah, it was a competition to see who was the most fertile. So we had to drive to a sperm bank and make a donation. Very weird moment in my life.
Seriously?
Do you have any babies yet?
You've got 3, but not from that day.
Yeah.
But yeah, a bit of a low light looking back at it. Consider when your boss tells you have to go and do that.
It's definitely a very unique job when you are literally sitting in the corridor outside of room when your colleague, you know that your colleague is doing whatever it takes to fill that little plastic thing. And I mean, it's pretty uncomfortable. To be honest, the only thing I actually think I enjoyed about that day was I could really feel Cosi's shame.
Only because it was so embarrassing having to pop out every 5 minutes and asking for another cup.
Now it's Beck's turn. While filming the Bachelorette series, Beck unleashed some undercover agents to gain intel for her and her sister. These cleverly placed moles infiltrated the boys' environment while they chit-chatted and threw banter, mostly about the girls. Once her informant came back to her with information, Becky was fuming. It seemed that one of the contestants was dogging her out and her sister, and she was loving it. And a very rare decision in Bachelorette history was made by Becky. She ousted Pascal before the rose ceremony and booted him from the mansion. Fact or fiction? What do you think, Amber?
I hope it was true. Well, no, I don't hope that you were being bagged by this idiot, but if this
That's how it sounded.
I hope that you kicked him to the curb. What did you say, Cosi?
That's how it sounded.
I hope he kicked him to the curb, so I hope it's true.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that, and so I'm going to lock in true.
I'm going to say fact.
Beck, was it fact or fiction?
Yeah, it was fact. So Pascal, he was bagging Ellie and I to some of the boys saying, oh, they could have picked hotter chicks. And we went up to him and sort of said, you know, what are you doing here, mate?
We've heard that you've been basically questioning, you know, Ellie and myself, saying things like, oh, you know what, they could have picked like better looking chicks.
Is there any truth to that at all?
Are you just trying to create drama from nowhere? I have said none of these comments.
Like, why are you bagging us behind our backs? If you don't want to be here, then, you know, you can simply just leave. And he denied it and ended up running away when we asked one of the boys to come over and talk to him because he was scared of James. So, yeah, anyway, here's what it is.
Are you guys still in touch?
With Pascal? No way. Nah. He's all right. I'm sure he's an all right bloke, but
I don't want to tell you how to do your business, but if that name wasn't a warning sign, I don't know what is.
Reminds me of the pencils.
Yes.
It reminds me of the lolly.
Like the pencil guy,
The lolly.
Pascal.
That kind of comment does not impinge on my self-worth or Becky's self-worth.
Girls, I have no idea. I would love to see. I think you're both beautiful.
I'm not buying what you're saying. I just think it's time for you to leave.
Blech.
I'm going home. Good luck.
Amber, you've done a stint in reality TV.
Really want food. I really would like some food too. What do you have to do around here to eat?
You've done the radio.
Tune into Adelaide's new Look Breakfast show with Rabbit and Amber.
You've hit the music biz. And you've been to world-class royal affairs. And I guess the only thing left was for you to write a memoir, because that would just be a natural progression, wouldn't it?
Well, yes and no. Like, you know what? I have such a, I hate the word memoir. Often, like, you know, the memoirs that get kind of published are often like supposedly celebrity memoirs. So I always get nervous when the word memoir around me gets sort of talked about, because I think people are going to think, oh, okay, so she thinks she needs a memoir or anyone, you know, cares. which is not the case. Really, it's a book, it's like an ode to self-love. And my self-love was not good for a long, long time. And so through my experiences and storytelling, I tried to sort of portray that, because I knew there'd be lots of other women that would really understand that not backing yourself and like putting up with things and attracting people that were not good for you. But then it's really about the journey back, going, I got, you know, like when things get really, really bad and when it starts to sort of like impact your mental health, you know, there's two, you know, you either go down, really keep going down, wherever that ends is not going to be good, or you have to fight back. So that's what my memoir is about. Like, you know, it is correct, it's a memoir, but I see it more like a kind of storytelling self-help book. Yeah, well, I think that's such an important message to show women, and you should be very proud of your memoir. I think as women, we don't want to, you know, celebrate our successes because, you know, everyone's trying to be, I don't know, people are like, oh, she's, you know, full of herself, or like she's this and that, and it's not true at all, because, you know, you're obviously a very strong, capable woman, and you should be very proud of yourself that you did decide to do a memoir. Like, I wish I had the confidence to do that. Maybe I should do a memoir too.
Well, I actually have had a chance to look into the literary future of my guests today. And I have seen through the crystal ball that you each eventually have your own memoirs published. Now, in this crystal ball, I have seen Becky's autobiography won't quite make the New York Times bestselling list, but it will revolutionize the self-help category. With her book, my sister forced me on this show, and all I got was this lousy fuckboy. I can't wait. I can't wait for the release, Beck.
She was very convincing.
Wait, Cosi.
Yeah.
He will be documented in the pages of history. His book, An All-New Aussie Under the Monarch Cosi, will document his rise to parliamentary power and ousting Charles and Camilla from ever ruling across a monarchy that includes this southern land.
Wow. That's deep, mate. You're close. I'm actually releasing a book. It's an adult book, and it's a pop-up porn book.
I love it.
Is it called Cosi Where's the Cosi?
And I think there's another release on its way. Amity will continue to inspire women the world over with her pocketbook, How to Stay 39 Forever, plus GST, a simple guide to life, even a blockhead can follow.
Nice, doing it.
Retailers, there you go. I have a copy of your book here, and I must say, I've started reading it, and it does cover a lot, but I particularly love that it features Cosi in it as well.
Hey!
Me, not so much. I'm still waiting for that passage where we were at Melbourne Cup and, sorry, what was it? At
Derby Day.
At Derby Day in Emirates, and then we made our new best friend Taylor Armstrong from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yes, we did. We were very excited about that.
Can't find it. I can't find that moment. What?
Next book, darling. There's going to be lots and lots of books. That'll be its
trilogy, at least.
I've got to save some of the good stuff, Philip.
Amazing. Sounds like my type of book. Might have to read it.
Well, I've got to ask, Beck, it's almost time for you to pass that Batchy torch on to the next Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Have you met her, and what are your thoughts on the casting for 2021?
I haven't met Brooke. I think I watched her season when she was on Nick's Bachelor season, and I think she's incredible. I thought she was such a down-to-earth, lovely woman. I think it's amazing that they've cast like an Aboriginal woman as well as someone who also likes women. Like that brings a whole different dynamic to the show. I'm a little bit concerned for her because I'm like, oh, I don't want it being all Love Island and, you know, like contestants hooking up with each other. Like, I think I can't imagine that having happened on my season. So I really hope that everyone's genuine and just want to be there for Brooke. And I think she'll make a beautiful Bachelorette.
So let's break it down this coming season.
Yeah.
With both males and females in the mansion.
Yeah, that's right.
So she has her picking of across the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you think that's going to work? Do you think that then opens it up to maybe some scandals in the mansion?
100%. I'd say the women in there, they may have some women who aren't just, like into women, but like bisexual as well. And then I don't know how they're going to make it work, because these people, like everyone's in the house together 24/7. They're the ones that really spend a lot of time and get to make some like incredible connections. I think as the main person, as like the Bachelorette or the Bachelor, you don't really have that much time getting to know a lot of these people compared to like everyone else in the house. So I'll be watching and I'll have my fingers crossed for Brooke, and I hope it goes well, but it will be interesting. I think there may be a whole heap of scandal. We'll see.
I think there might be some hanky-panky, some shenanigans.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Pete's got a great rig. I'm like, you got a lot of good going on here, Pete. Do we need this shirt? Should we just take the shirt off? What do you think?
Sure.
Yeah, let's just take the shirt off. You may as well get it out, Pete.
Why not, hey?
And how soon did you regret that decision, Beck?
I don't know if I really regretted it. I think I made the best decision I could at the time, so no regrets. I think just lessons learnt.
So he was the one you chose at the final, was he? Pete?
Yeah, I chose him at the final, and then I think it was like 3 or 4 days after we spent our rendezvous together.
Yeah.
He broke it off saying that he just didn't feel like that there was a spark there. And
oh, really?
Yeah, so.
Oh, that's a bit disappointing.
Yeah, a little bit disappointing, but I think in my heart I knew that there was something a bit off anyway. And I think if there was the perfect person for me at the end, then it would have just worked. So, yeah.
As a spectator from the outside, my heart broke for you when you had to do all of your publicity rounds afterwards, and it's just like, and I can tell you this: the entire country just wanted to go over there and give you hugs, cuddles all day, because you really got a rough trot at the end of that, and that was completely unfair. I mean,
yeah, it was pretty shit house having to relive all that and talk about it, and like kind of knowing what had happened and all the hard conversations I had to have on the day. It was definitely tough, but it's just part of the experience. So
can I just say, Beck, I think people like you that are brave enough to endure that experience and to put forward a really strong, relatable front, because like not everything, half the time things don't work out and whatever. I think there would have been a lot of people out there, and I hope that it was your experience, that probably would have seen you as a bit of an inspiration and seen you as a bit of a female hero in what you went through.
Oh, thank you. I got so much love and support, so I couldn't have asked for anything better from, the public and, my friends and family and everything. So I was definitely supported. So I didn't, yeah, thanks.
Court is in recess, but I thought while we are in recess, maybe you'd like a spot of tea?
Ooh.
And I'll ask.
What about Fireball?
Oh, did you say
a little bit of Fireball on them? You know what's really good? A little bit of English breakfast and a bit of Fireball mixed together. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I swear it's the only thing we drank on the show.
Really, Fireball.
Yes, and it tastes so good.
Oh, you got some too. I love that.
I've got a whole stash everywhere in the house.
Yes, Queen. We get along well.
On my birthday a few years ago, a friend redesigned the label for me and called it Feel Ball.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I want a Becky ball.
Tea time, everybody. Oh, well, talking about spilling the tea, Becky, you shared the spotlight with her on national television, but I'm sure she hasn't been a dream co-star all through your entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Ellie Miles, spill the tea.
So we've got 4.5 years apart, and she was this annoying younger sister when I was little. And she was a little bit fiery as well. One time she came up to me in a fit of rage and with a pen and stabbed me in the eye, like right in this ball of my eye.
Oh my God.
I know. She's much nicer these days, but she was a little shit back then.
Amber, there's a few things that pop up in your book from your time around industries. One was Jimmy Barnes. Spill the tea.
Well, okay. Well, hope this is literally just between us because I wasn't really supposed to put this in the book. Well, I took his name out. Okay, here's a little story. May or may not have been told to me by Jimmy Barnes when I was working in the music industry. And we were driving over the Sydney Harbour Bridge. And as we were driving under the bridge or over it, but under the thing, he said, oh, you see that spot up there? And I looked up and it was, you know, like the kind of 1/3 of the way up the bridge. And he said, about however many years, he said, you know, that he had sex with a young lass. Like literally hanging, somehow they climbed up the side of the Sydney Harbour Bridge and he managed to have a little run with some woman. I didn't want to name him in the book because I think his wife's a bit fiery and probably didn't need to hear that story.
So just because we're in the court of law, it's allegedly.
Allegedly this happened, but I think that's pretty clever if you could have sex up there. Also, a little windy and a little cold around your bits, I would have thought.
It obviously didn't affect him. He produced an entire cast of tin lids. So
he did.
Open the door, get on the floor. Everybody rock the dinosaur. Boom, boom, acca-lacca-lacca, boom, 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 acca-lacca, boom, 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 acca-lacca-lacca, boom, 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 acca-lacca.
I don't think any of the tin lids came via that little moment, but yes, he was obviously pretty good at it.
Cosi.
Yes, sir.
A former comrade on television, Michelle Bridges, now a fired celebrity apprentice. Spill the tea.
One time when we were down to like the top, maybe 5 or 6 people left on the show, and we weren't allowed to call home. So like for 4.5 months, no one was able to call their partners or anything like that. And then one day she just came in and said, I'm going to leave my phone here on this table and I'm going to come back and get it in 20 minutes. I don't care what happens in the meantime, but it's there if you guys want it. So that allowed all the contestants to, those that were left to use her phone to call their loved ones. So when it was my turn, I took her phone into the toilet and then I realised I didn't know my wife's phone number, so I didn't have anyone to ring. So
you just took some happy snaps instead.
Yeah, so I just gave it to the next person.
Jury, we have brought some people back to reality and served justice. Court is dismissed. Don't you love playing?
See you guys.
You never have
Thank you, everyone.
Nice to meet you all. Thanks, that was fun.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
See you later.
You too,
See you later.
guys.